want to describe someone to you. So she is the one everybody calls. When something falls apart in the group chat, her name gets tagged. When a friend is in crisis at 1 a.m., she talks her off the ledge. If something needs to get handled at work, in the family, in the community, somehow it becomes her thing. And she does it without complaining every time, without being asked twice. But she's also tired in a way she can't really explain. It's not like this, I need a spa day kind of day, but kind of tired, but like I'm tired to the bone kind of tired. And she has everything she prayed for, but everything feels muted. So if you're nodding to this right now, this one is for you. You might be an anchor. And I have some things I want to say to you. Before I get into it though, everything I'm about to share comes from 20 years of working with women in holistic wellness, my REBT certification, and honestly, just being someone who has watched incredibly capable women run themselves all the way to empty and call it accomplishment. So I'm not here to diagnose you. I just want to give you the words for the things you may have not been able to describe. A lot of women carry a lot, but the anchor carries it in a specific way. When she walks into a room, things settle just because she showed up and people feel it. She has that thing where her presence alone makes the room feel safer. And people describe her like she's their rock. She loves that. She loves being that because she's naturally wired this way. Her ability to hold things together is actually a gift, but a gift that only goes one direction eventually runs dry. And since she always looks like she has it together, no one asks what she needs held. Some of it is just how she's wired. Some people just come into this world more able to hold it together when everything around them is falling apart. But some of it was learned and built over time. Maybe she was the oldest kid, the responsible one that adults could count on, and she got praised for it. Oh, you're so mature and so easy. And she learned early that being reliable was how she earned her place. And every time she showed she could handle something, the world just added more. Maybe she watched someone she loved fall apart, a parent, a sibling, and she made this quiet decision. I will not be like that. I will be the one who will always get it together. Maybe her church told her, not out loud, but in 100 different little ways, that a good woman serves, that her job is to give and not to worry as much about receiving, and that may have translated as selfishness to her. Then one day she sits down in a quiet moment, which doesn't happen often, and she feels something. And, she can't name it, but she just feels tired of being reliable and strong. Her version of falling apart doesn't look like falling apart. That's what makes it so hard to catch. She keeps going. She keeps saying yes when her body is saying, please stop. But things start to shift. The tension she used to be able to shake off on the weekends or in the evenings, it stops leaving. Now it lives in her body. She's been holding it so long, she doesn't even feel it anymore because she's in a reactive mode. Her patience gets shorter. The small stuff that never used to bother her is suddenly irritating. She snaps at the people she loves and immediately feels terrible because that's not who she really is, except it keeps happening and it won't stop. When you're holding too much for too long, your body has nothing left over for the small things. The joy she used to feel from helping people, she still shows up. She still does everything she's supposed to do, but the warmth behind it has dimmed. She's just going through the motions of caring without really being able to feel it the way she used to. And she doesn't tell anyone because how do you explain that loving people feels empty when loving people is your thing? And underneath all of this is this question she almost never says out loud. Is anyone going to notice that I'm not okay? Because she has been so consistently okay for so long that nobody thinks to check. So in episode 8, I talked about how just knowing something isn't enough to change it. The thought has to be found at the root, the one running in the background that she never decided to believe, but somehow ended up, living by. For the anchor, that thought is usually this: if I stop holding things together, they will fall apart. And if they fall apart because I stopped, that's my fault. Think about that. It's not just that things will fall apart, it's that it will be her fault, that her one moment of not being available is what causes the collapse. That's why rest feels wrong to her, like she's leaving her post. And this thought is often tangled up in her faith, honestly, because somewhere along the way, she absorbed the idea that strength means never needing anything, that her worth is in how much she can carry. But can I offer something? Psalm 121. He who watches over you will not sleep. She was never meant to be the one who never rests. That was never her job. That role belongs to God. And here's something that's also true. When a body never gets to rest, it starts breaking down, right? The anchor, who cannot stop holding, isn't protecting the people she loves. She's slowly using up the very thing they depend on, which is her. You can't hold things together forever from an empty place, right? You can only hold things together from a full one. So the thought has to be challenged at the root, not just acknowledged. And, like, has everything actually fallen apart every time you rested? Or have the people in your life been more capable than you've been giving them credit for? Just answering these questions honestly. And most importantly, has God ever dropped something you put down? Has he left you or forsaken you? Generic wellness advice tells the anchor to rest, take a bath, or do some self-care. And she hears that and, either she rolls her eyes or feels guilty doing it. Neither of those is wrong, but the advice is just incomplete. What she actually needs is a feeling of being held while she rests. There's a difference. So the anchor lying down while her brain runs through everything she should be doing, that's not rest. She's just horizontally, laying down and she's still anxious. But rest where she actually feels like someone else got it and the weight got handed to someone else for a minute, that feels safe to her body. And that's what actually lets her fill back up. This is why the most powerful thing an anchor can do isn't a breathing exercise, but learning to actually let someone help her. What that looks like is not taking over halfway through because it's easier, or redoing it after they leave. You know who you are. I know that's the hard part, because it means trusting that the people around her can handle it and sitting with the discomfort of not being in control. It's okay. Just embrace the discomfort. It's the old thought being challenged in real time. And other things that actually help her body: slow movement, not this workout where you always have a goal, but just stretching that gives your body permission to let go, because our bodies hold things too, not just our schedules, right? So that helps. Simpler environment. The anchor's brain automatically starts managing any mess or chaos she walks into. A clean space means one less thing her nervous system is quietly in charge of. And small daily moments of letting someone do something for her, someone making her tea, someone making the decision, or taking something off her plate. She lets it happen without redirecting, without doing it herself later. These are what her specific body needs to actually fill back up. As a mom, the anchor is extraordinary. Her kids always feel safe. They never wonder if she's going to show up. She's always going to show up. No matter what's happening in her life, her kids have that one constant. And what a gift to carry into adulthood, right? So children who grow up feeling that kind of safety, it changes who they become. They're more confident, but the anchor mom is also passing something down without knowing it. When her kids watch her never ask for help, they learn that strong people don't ask for help. When they watch her put her needs at the bottom of every list, they learn that love means putting yourself last. When they never see her receive, they don't learn how to receive either. And especially her daughters are watching most closely, and they're learning right now what a woman does with her needs, whether she's allowed to have them, if she can ask for things, if being taken care of is something available to her or just something she gives to other people. The most powerful thing an anchor mom can do for her kids, especially her daughters, is to let them see her be taken care of or ask for help. Let them see her rest and not feel guilty about it. That lesson will do more for them than almost anything she could sacrifice on their behalf. Anchor builds through consistency. And in a world where a lot of people are not consistent, that is very valuable. She shows up, she delivers, she does what she said she was going to do. And her audience trusts her. And that kind of trust is worth more than anything in business, I mean, in life, in any relationship. But she has specific things that slow her down too. The first one is she needs to see who she's helping. Numbers don't move her. She doesn't care about follower counts. The face of the woman on the other side of her content, that's who she's doing this for. When she loses sight of that, she loses energy, fulfillment. So she needs to keep that face in front of her, build for her specifically. The second is that she gives more than she needs to. One more resource and her instinct is always to add, and it's beautiful, but it will also run her into the ground. She has to practice delivering exactly what she promised and then stopping and allowing them to have their journey. The third, she builds alone when she doesn't have to. She doesn't want to burden anyone with her process. But she needs to practice asking for support in the building the same way she supports everyone else in their building. She's building a community that stays, and the community that stays is the one that buys, that refers people, that comes back for everything she creates. So that's the beautiful thing. 3 things. First, your capacity to hold things together is a gift. It is not a flaw. It is not something to shrink or apologize for. The world genuinely needs the woman who holds things steady, and that woman is you. But a gift that only flows one direction runs dry, like I said earlier. And a woman who gives everything without anyone filling her back up is not stronger for it. She's closer to empty, and empty doesn't serve anyone, right? Second, letting someone have your back is actually the bravest thing an anchor can do, because it means trusting the people around you. It means tolerating not being in charge of how it gets done. It means trusting that God, above all things, is holding the thing you put down. And third, if you haven't taken the quiz yet, link is in the description and in the comments. 3 minutes, it's free. And if this episode was about you, come tell me below. Tell me one thing you've been holding that you haven't told anyone. I'm reading every comment and replying. I mean that. Stay on beat. Bye.